Jefferson Lady Cougars versus Hedgesville Lady Eagles.
Alright, it said everything's live. So let me just see. Let me just go to the page. 1 second. Don't do it. Okay, here we go.
We good? Okay. So killing it.
I wouldn't even kill it. Just have it. Just have it on the field for 20 minutes. Like, you know what I'm saying? No point in killing it. You guys. You know what I mean?
You know you probably won't talk trash. Just
No, it's not.
just leave it up.
Yeah, leave it up. Just put it. Make sure we put the camera down on the girls practicing.
We can talk about them playing this little bull in the ring thing right here. But I could, with what they're doing, I'd be tired before the game started. We got Jefferson over here doing a nice function drill. Oh, that is Jefferson.
Meet Cheryl Yates at ERA Liberty Realty. With over 30 years of experience, Cheryl provides each of her clients with the best level of customer service, along with helping families with the next phase of their life. The buying and selling process comes natural to Cheryl, as her understanding of the housing market allows her the ability to answer any questions that may arise. With offices in both Jefferson and Berkeley counties, she works hard to ensure the outcome you deserve. Cheryl is the key to selling or buying your home.
Jawan is the ultimate hype guy. I love him. He's always positive. He's always pepping them up and firing them up.
Parker, work, Parker, work, Parker, work, 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 work.
Good evening. This is Home Team Sports TV live at Jefferson High School at Cougar Stadium, where we have the Jefferson High School Lady Cougars, who are 1-1, against the 1-0 Hedgesville Eagles. I am joined by my co-host and special guest, Brandon Hamilton.
What's going on, guys? Good to be here.
So definitely, we're gracious for Brandon being able to step in here and give us some great commentary.
That's right.
On the ladies soccer. So Brandon, you will let everyone know the roster for the Hedgesville Eagles.
Yes, sir. So we're going to start with the coaches for the Hedgesville Eagles. We got head coach Allison Janey. Assistant coach is Emma Barnadoni, James Taylor, and manager is Ella Walters. Listen, guys, if I mispronounce a name, it is not my fault. It's yours for naming your kid something crazy. All right. Reserves. Number 2, Allison Campbell. Number 3, Ashley Mendez. Number 4, Langley Poplin. Number 7's Grayson Sile. Number 10, Caitlin Hall. Number 14, Kristen Flynn. Number 18, Abby Hopkins. Number 22, Julia Burton. Number 25, Hannah Richardson. Number 28, Riley Applegate. Your starters for the Hedgesville Eagles are number 6, Cameron Cox. Number 8, Addison Martin. Alina Simon. Natalie Yates. Tessa Grises. Samantha Malo. Bailey Markley. Callie Yates. Juliana Rapallo. Jaden Reckner. And Lindsay Poplin.
That is your 2022 and 2023 Hedgesville Eagles. For the Jefferson High School varsity roster, we have starter Michaela Lebowitz, Claire Lindsay, Sarah Hawley, Captain Mallory Hobbs, Hope Jessel, Phoebe Young, Captain Jordan Rawlins, starter, Captain Grace Lochner, Captain Chloe DeMullen, Gabriella Savage, Cameron Dillo, Maddie Hutchinson, Molly Colbert, Emily Tracy, Laura La Bangett, Soli Basham, Kayla Schilling, Skylar Wynn, and Melena Ryder. Jefferson is 1-1. They lost to George Washington 3-1, the defending state champions, and beat Berkeley Springs 11 to nothing. And Hedgesville is 1-0 as they had a victory over Washington High School 2-1 yesterday. So there's not a lot of history right now for either of these teams this season. So if this is your first time seeing these ladies play, we will all be learning their amazing skills and talents together. Brandon, being an ex-athlete, the national anthem when it plays, knowing that in the next 2 minutes, you're about to go to war. What is that feeling that you have, right now when you look out there on that field and see?
That's when goosebumps, chills come out.
Yes.
Because you're minutes before all the preparation. I do think, though, just briefly looking at this game, it should be you can throw away the George Washington game a little bit because they're the defending state champs. And if I'd have looked at that score and Jefferson got beat like 7-1, then maybe say, But I think it was a pretty close game, like 4-2, 5-2. I mean, so you can kind of throw that game away. A team they're supposed to beat, Berkeley Springs, they beat handedly. Hedgesville's 1-0 for a reason, so this may be fairly evenly matched.
This is a game, an EPAC game, where you're going to expect each team's best. 'Cause it goes into determining the seed, especially come playoff time. And I know there's different sections where, as Hedgesville's with Martinsburg, Spring Mills, and then it's Musselman, Jefferson, and Washington in their own section. But we're excited to be back live on Home Team Sports TV, covering the full scholastic season of 2022 and 2023 with today's matchup of the Jefferson High School Cougars homestanding versus the Hedgesville Eagles. Today's title sponsors, VFW Post 3522. We have Cheryl Yates of ERA Realty, HD's Barbecue, Neil Powell at Down Home Insurance, Quintez McDonald Gibson at Integrity Home Mortgage, our halftime show sponsor, L&O Handyman, and our post-game show and player of the game, Cato Law.
Nice. Now, we're going to have to fact check later on, but I heard a name, Lorelei. I think she's a track.
She's a track star.
So, yes,
Yeah.
I haven't seen them play, but if she's a track star playing soccer, and I worked on her parents' house, they're really nice people. So, my money's on her having a good game.
Yeah, Lorelei is also a member of Home Team Sports TV.
Oh, nice. See, I don't even know all this, but I do know all this.
So we will have Hedgesville with the ball first at the middle of the field. And the main thing that we like to see is the pace. As we see already quickly, Jefferson's attacking Hedgesville, putting pressure on them. We've seen that with the George Washington game. That pressure and that attacking style can wear a team down in the second half. High school rules, for the JV, they play 30-minute halves. For the varsity team, they play 40-minute halves, 2 40-minute halves. Another difference that our viewers may see, which Jefferson's already attacking in the box, ball kicked out by the Hedgesville player. A difference that you're going to see at the high school level as opposed to the professional level, which most people may have seen on television, is here you're allowed to substitute and come back in the game. So you will actually see the coach substitute players that have the ability to return back into the game. And that's great right now as it's early season, where the kids are increasing their fitness as the season goes on.
Man, these kids should already be fit. If they can't run for 80 minutes, get them out of here. Hit, shot on goal.
And it's tracked down by Lorelei Bangett. Lorelei with the control. That's a powerful
shot
kick.
on goal.
Powerful kick. And they're already putting pressure on that Hedgesville defense.
All right, I'm going to switch to do the rest of this in Spanish.
Telemundo.
El Telemundo. Hedgesville's having a hard time getting the ball across midfield.
Yeah, Jefferson speed. And
I've only coached one rec league soccer championship, but I think that you need to get on the right side of the field.
AYSO?
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Jefferson will retain possession.
Controls the ball.
But the main key when it comes to also putting the pressure and maintaining possession, it has to result into goals. Last week, when we did the Washington versus George Washington game, maybe that was a couple weeks ago. George Washington, they had possession multiple times, but it didn't result into to goals until the second half, where they then took control of the game. And if it wasn't for Washington's goalkeeper, she was amazing. That game could have definitely been, a little bit more lopsided than it ended up.
That probably works in other sports. Hockey, if you have a good goalkeeper, you're always in it.
Yes.
Baseball, softball, if you have a good pitcher, no matter how your bats are going, you're always in it.
Yep.
So in soccer, you got a good goalkeeper. I think they keep you in the game.
Exactly. And we got to see a difference in strategy for Jefferson. As you've seen Lorelei's speed right there. Quickly, she was even and she was leaving.
And a lot of that, I think, is timing, because I was watching some football over Friday and a lot of overthrown balls. So that pass in a couple weeks might be right on the money, and that's a goal.
Exactly. And another thing that I want to bring out to our viewers is definitely, for these seniors and, yes, the juniors as well. This is a different surface that they played for the first year, 2 years of their careers at Jefferson High School.
Thank God.
Jefferson had the grass, and now they have the turf. Obviously, you play a little bit faster. The ball, plays faster on turf. That's definitely an adjustment. And Brandon, I hear you say, I heard you say thank God, but
no,
this
for
is
the
a beautiful
girls.
field. This is a beautiful.
It is a great field, and people think a lot of times that know me that I just think about football. But the one aspect that people don't realize with a grass field is the moneymaker gets priority. So say Thursday night game, it was supposed to rain tonight. This girls' soccer game would have been canceled, because if you had a game tomorrow night, they didn't want the field tore up. Mm-hmm. So now that you have a surface that doesn't get tore up, nobody's games get canceled. Mm-hmm. Everybody gets to play.
Well, and this actually makes it easier on the community to have a multi-sport field.
Yes, 100%.
When you're playing, multiple sports, so you have boys soccer, girls soccer, that's 4 teams.
Who gonna mow the grass? I ain't mowing all that grass. I don't even mow my own yard.
Hey, you got the Jefferson High School JV and the varsity team. That is 6 teams.
Look at oh. Hold on.
Bang it with possession. She quickly speaks to the ball and they kick the ball out. So Lorelei has been active early. She's waiting for the referee to give her the go-ahead to play. Finally gets the go-ahead. Jefferson has to both fight for possession. The ball will be out on Jefferson. So with 34 minutes and 17 seconds left, we have a 0-0 game. The first 6 minutes have been dominated by Jefferson, but right now they have not been able to put the ball in the net.
Yeah, this would be one of those games if they go into halftime and it's 0-0, or maybe even 1-0. Jefferson, as a Hedgesville player or coach, I would feel confident because they've been outplayed way more than 0-0 or 1-1.
Yeah, and that's especially being an athlete and Brandon, you being an athlete as well. We've seen those games and what typically happens in those games. One mistake, and next thing you know, you're wondering like, all right, what happened? Like now, all of a sudden, it's 1-1 or we're down 1-0, and we feel like we've dominated this game.
Yeah.
So Brandon, we talked about your work on the Bangets.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about what you do.
Lorelei's on the outside.
Lefty.
Oh, we're going to have a corner kick. Corner kick by the Cougars.
And you would have loved to see her trust her left foot on that. Maybe they kick, maybe put a little spin on it.
I can't knock her. I can't eat cereal with my left hand.
One thing that I'm going to tell you guys, my family has known the Hamiltons our whole life, and Brandon is someone that if your stomach's hurting, you don't want to go around him because he's gonna make you laugh.
Hit ball, shot on goal, a little high.
But
Side out Hedgesville.
that's another shot on goal for Jefferson. What is that, 3-0 right now?
I mean, eventually, they say times you should score 10, so you keep putting it around the goal. It's going to go in even by luck eventually.
Yes. And eventually you also wear down
Yes.
the mentality of the goalkeeper, like continuously being in high stress, high impact situations. Jefferson gains possession.
Work. We were talking about work. Where were we going with that?
So,
Oh, the Bangers,
Tell the viewers a little bit about what you do.
Contractor, general contractor. We do mostly roofing, siding. James Neal Diversified Services is my company. Have a racing stable. But the Bangets had some storm damage. New house they just bought. Very nice people to work with. Great to work with. Got to meet the whole family, heard the whole story, and then I went and watched her at a few track meets. And you always hear parents talk their kids up. And then when I went, I think they talked her down a little bit because she was better than what I expected.
Yeah, and the great thing about
See, this is just like a 9 route. Just send the receiver.
Yeah, she's very athletic. But the great thing about Lorelai and Mallory, who both help with home team sports, is they're very coachable people.
Right.
And that's what you love. You love to be around people that are coachable. And when you get around the young talent that we're luckily able to be around with home team, you definitely appreciate it, and the relationship that we have with the that have volunteered with us will continue to go on for the rest of their lives. So Jefferson
has the ball, their side of the field, it seems like, the entire time.
Yeah, it's definitely been at least 95%.
I think Hedgesville may be sitting back in some sort of a zone. 4-4. They're definitely dropping back. I know most of the rules of soccer, but my only championship was for Airborne Church, and I don't think it was very high level. But I do think there are formations to this, the same as football or any other sport.
Brandon, have you ever played FIFA?
I do not play video games. I won't even go in by.
Oh man.
I like to chop wood and stuff.
Okay, man.
But I play on my phone.
What games you play on your phone, Brandon?
I used to play the gambling games, but I stopped that. I turned a new leaf.
Hey,
So now,
he's grown as a man.
that's the only games I really played. So I guess I quit.
Yeah, I mean, I totally understand. Now, like I said, I like to do word puzzles and crossword puzzles with my wife, but she's a lot better than me. So it stokes my competitive fire.
Right. So I can play Jeopardy. I'm undefeated in Jeopardy.
Oh, yeah, that's my family.
You don't get anything taken away if you get a question wrong. You just guess.
Well, Jeopardy, you're supposed to lose points. Man.
Nope, not in our Jeopardy. Maybe down there in Shepherdstown Jeopardy.
Yeah, you lose points. You lose
Nope.
points at that point.
He said no one's in jeopardy of losing.
Yeah,
You
I don't know if I like that game. But that's my family who's the champ at Taboo. Yeah, the King.
I've never even played that.
Oh, it's a beautiful game. It's a beautiful game to play with your family. You play with your daughters.
Get my cousin Josh up here, get Slope up here, and we'll play y'all in some spades.
I won't win. I won't win at Slope. That's a cookout game. We gotta have a cookout for that. HD's barbecue for all your catering soul food needs.
All right, we need a goal. I've been practicing my goal all week. Score is a goal. I think. See, hopefully we get 2, and I can do both, and then you all can leave some feedback on which one you like better.
Yeah, everybody gotta have that one staple. Like basketball. We splash.
Yeah.
Reggie Creamer might he might disagree with that one though.
Oh, hold on.
Okay. Oh, offsides.
I will tell you, these girls have to be in crazy shape. Yes. So we got a little dead action. I have a soccer story. I was did a semester at Shepherd University, and this fraternity set up these rocks in like letters. You know what I mean? Well, their job to get in the sorority was to guard the rocks, not let everybody keep one. So I'm probably 19, pretty fast guy, athletic. We get this idea, I'm going to put football cleats on, I'm going to grab one of the rocks and take off running. I got it, and I took off running, but it was one of the Shepherd soccer players that started chasing me.
Oh.
She chased me all the way across the bridge into Sharpsburg.
Wow.
And I'm carrying a rock. Finally, I stopped because I'm like, what is she going to do, beat me up? I just gave her a rock back. Not only was she fast, she was dedicated, determined, so she either loved that sorority or soccer or both.
Yeah, I would say it's probably both. But to be able to run with a all-state running back.
She didn't catch me. I stopped and waited on her because I got winded.
Yeah, I'm sure.
She did not get winded.
I'm sure.
My body was trained to take breaks. Shot on goal. Easy save for the Jefferson keeper.
And she hasn't had a lot of work yet so far, but the 2 chances that they have had, she has been up for the challenge. And this is my favorite part. And this is something that I've been working with my son that actually plays soccer as well, and he's a goalie, is that punt. You know, when you see those goalies punt the ball 50 yards effortlessly down the field, it's definitely amazing because it's hard.
So from what I've seen, though, that plays more into consideration at the younger levels. Okay. Because if you watch a lot of pro soccer, and the only ones I watch are the World Cup, the important ones.
Me as well.
But the other reason I asked a good friend of mine who's a soccer player why they always roll the ball. Mm-hmm. He said if they punt it, that they don't have as good of a percentage of gaining control. Okay. To where if they roll it to one of their players, they can control the ball and move it up the field. Okay. But that's obviously at such a high level to where they feel comfortable enough to move it 40 yards,
Well, and your players at that level have the touch to be able to maintain possession, and I think that's the key. Like you said, obviously it's a increase in skill level, and at every single level, the talent level gets higher. So this is pretty much the highest level of soccer outside of television that I've seen. So. It's definitely been interesting to watch the ladies compete.
Yeah, I mean, you can take it both ways. Sometimes a low-scoring game people think is a bad game, but sometimes that's the best game.
Yeah.
Just because there's a reason that both teams aren't scoring a bunch.
Yeah, that's a beautiful touch right there. And the thing also is typically, just like you said earlier when you were speaking about baseball and softball, if you have 2 elite pitchers, it doesn't mean that the game is not interesting and the team is not talented. You just have 2 stoppers in the game.
Right.
That the teams are fundamentally sound and the pitchers fundamentally sound. They're not making mistakes. In any sport, if teams are evenly matched and you actually have a level of talent on the field, there isn't going to be a lot of points. It shouldn't be. When you watch the Super Bowl, the Chiefs in the regular season could easily put up 40 points a game, but when you get to the Super Bowl and they play against another team, the Super Bowl scores are typically 17-13, 20-13. They're not scoring 40 and 50 points.
Right.
Because both teams are talented and they're well coached.
Well, and I think the coaching part you threw in at the end is a lot of it. They prepare more. I mean, it's exactly who you're playing.
Yeah, so right now the score is 0-0 with 23 minutes and 40 seconds left in the first half. Brandon, one question I want to ask you. What can either team, what can they do to break through? Like, what is something that you would like to see either team do that maybe might change their fortune for that split second that can get them a goal?
So I am going to start with Jefferson because I feel like they have the most opportunity to score quick. And I would like to see them start taking more chances with their outside speed, just kicking the ball down the field and letting a girl beat somebody one-on-one. I do know they're offsides, but they've practiced enough to know when the ball's kicked, stay on sides, and then outrun her. So I think Jefferson can really start taking a lot more chances. As surprisingly as to hear, Hedgesville side, I don't think they need to do anything different because they've been outplayed and it's a tie ball game. So really, all they need is for it to stay stagnant like it is for now, and then just get lucky once. Because that's what, when you let somebody hang around, you hear coach, don't let them hang around. Something crazy happens, and then next thing you know, you're down 1-0, or it ends up in a tie, or it wasn't the game that it should have been played.
Well, and the thing also is the style of play that Jefferson has. It's taxing.
Yeah.
They're flying around. They're putting pressure on Hedgesville constantly, and the key, I guess, the question, that the viewers may have, and I would think that me and you as well may have, is can they keep this up for 80 minutes?
I know a couple that can, I would think. Now, I think a lot of that would depend on who's over on that reserve bench.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's plug and play. So if they got girls that can come in, and I'm sure we'll see some substitutions, and especially with that rule you mentioned where you can come in and re-enter, that would have to be part of the strategy.
Yeah, and the first game, the game wasn't broadcasted, but we were here, setting up and getting to know the surroundings. And,
they got numbers here.
And actually talking to some of the players early. The JV game, Jefferson actually had a chance of a penalty kick.
Okay.
And the goalkeeper blocked that kick, and that game ended in a tie. So it could come down to a penalty kick on both sides. We don't know. But right now, as we've seen, it looks like Jefferson could potentially be, at this point, it could be the most talented team on the field, but it doesn't necessarily matter if it's not translating to goals.
Well, and with a penalty kick situation, that speed and athleticism somewhat, gets taken away.
And like you said earlier, what if this is Hedgesville's strategy? What if it is to see what Jefferson is going to bring to them and then adjust at halftime?
I've never missed a penalty kick in my life.
Yeah, I never kicked one in my life.
I haven't either. That's why I've never missed one.
Yeah.
But if I did take one, I wouldn't miss one. You know how big that net is?
Yeah, I definitely am not mad at that, because that's the level of confidence I have that I feel like I'm do anything. It is what it is. I might not be able to win, but I'm gonna try.
I don't know if this is Hedgesville's strategy, or I'm thinking, and I'm sure we'll be corrected at some point. I think that they have a different formation because everything just seems way more congested, or maybe it's just the level of speed.
Yeah, I think it's strategic in the sense that I think they know athletically they don't particularly match up with speed. Obviously, with Lorelai being on the field, she is someone you have to prepare for, because she's a state champion.
Yeah.
So,
do soccer teams watch film?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
And getting to know these programs and talking to these coaches, the level of dedication that they have.
That's a foul.
Yeah, definitely.
You cheated.
Hey, it's a little bit of football. I ain't mad. I like physicality. But they have a championship or bust mentality because they're that talented.
Right.
So Jefferson expects to compete for a championship, and seeing both Jefferson and Washington compete against George Washington and seeing what it will take, I actually have a high level of interest in that Jefferson versus Washington game.
Right.
Especially watching the goalkeeper for Washington.
Yeah, me being from Martinsburg and all, I know the level of expectation. Win one game, your season's ruined. Or lose one game and your season's ruined.
And like you said, that's built over time.
Same as baseball here, though.
Yeah, it's built over time. It's a tradition. So they say, obviously, everyone who's brought into the system there's a level of standard,
Right.
that you have to live up to.
And if you play, so I'm a big advocate of playing multiple sports. So if you look at the seasons, in the fall you have soccer for girls and I believe volleyball. I think those are the two. Oh, and cross country.
Yep.
So if you're a girl that's really good at softball or really good at basketball, and you don't want to play volleyball or run cross country, soccer is going to be your next choice. So I think a lot of these girls are maybe new to the game and just learning, and the younger ones are going to get better.
Well, and
They got numbers here.
Yeah, Lorelai, they actually switched her positions, and look at the speed, and she has to touch it well. Oh, it's a good kick away by the Hedgesville defender. But yeah, with that standard of excellence, it actually pushes the elite athletes more, simply because at that point, you don't want to be the first to break that standard.
100%.
And that fuels some of the more determined athletes. Now, not every athlete's created equal mentally. And for the kid and for the parents, great defense by Hedgesville. But for the kids and the parents, you have to know your athlete. You have to know your athlete, and you have to know, what they're capable of doing.
Numbers here. Oh, she could have kicked it right there before she's offsides. Missed her.
Yeah, she missed that pass.
That goalkeeper's got to be hot. She's got a full sweatsuit on.
And it's black.
A black sweatsuit.
Yeah.
That's dedication.
Yeah. I wonder if
Cross in the front.
and
Oh, little high and to the right. Wide right.
And for you video gamers, she had her foot on the L a little too much. So with 15:41 left in the first half, we have a score of 0-0. You like that?
Nil to nil. Nil to nil is not usually my cup of tea, but I'm enjoying this.
Oh yeah, I was watching in preparation of some soccer games this year. I have awakened early on Sundays to watch the Premier League, to listen to the commentary, and I do notice that they say 0-0. They don't say 0-0 like we do in America.
Well, as hard as it is for you to believe, I didn't do any preparation. I kind of walked in here blind. But was having a conversation at an establishment, having dinner the other night with a gentleman, and we were talking about the world famous sport. Everybody knows it's soccer. Well, that's kind of skewed because there's like 95% of the world where all they play is soccer. But it is growing in the United States because of concussions and football being down, yada, yada. To get to the point, he asked me, well, what would make it more exciting? And you think about this. If they took away the offsides rule.
Yes.
So now you can kick the ball as far as you want, have a speedster on the outside, kind of like football, kind of like Mahomes and Tyreek did it. You kick it as far as you want. She runs it. We get more goals. We get more scoring. You get more big plays by your goalkeeper. And don't you know, everybody loved it except for the diehard soccer fan. He was like, no, that is stupid.
Well, you want to know why, and this is just, ooh, that was dangerous. But the issue is, it takes away from the athlete dominating the game. They want it to be more skill-based, I guess, and precise, so to speak, because obviously, what happens at that point, when the game just becomes dominated by the athlete.
Well, that's what's happening in the NFL.
Yes.
So when you stop being able to touch the receivers, you're doing the same thing.
Yes.
You can't touch the quarterback. You can't touch the receivers. Now offenses are dominating.
Exactly. And
sports are evolving, period.
They are evolving. And that's just going to boil down to what you want. Now, since soccer is so popular because obviously, like, say, football and baseball aren't big in every single country, they don't feel the need to make that adjustment. If those kids in Europe, in those countries towards the eastern part of the globe, if all of a sudden those kids said, I'd rather play football because there's more action, then you would see soccer have to make those adjustments.
Right.
But right now they're not having to make those adjustments because, 95% of the globe, this is what they do. But in America, when we have more action-packed games and things like that, it's different. But like you said, soccer is 100% getting bigger in America. I'm actually, like when you said the World Cup, I love watching the World Cup or
I
the
do as
Euros.
well.
It's just you fall in love with the skills of those particular players that are elite, like Messi and Ronaldo.
Oh, 100%.
Chicharito.
What a lot of people realize is most of our youth sports, and that's where your better players are built, is at a youth level. Most of those sports are very expensive. Football, you need a bunch of equipment, everything like that. So kids that come from unfortunate places in the United States and in Europe and South America where soccer is huge, the cheapest thing to do, all you need is a soccer ball. I see guys playing even around here with 2 trash cans and a soccer ball. So it costs nothing to do it. So it's very inexpensive for a school to start a soccer team. A school starts a football team, they got to buy, 54 sets of pads, helmets, gear. So basketball as well. 2 hoops and a ball, you can go play.
And I remember, and Brand, I don't know if you remember, but being a baseball player, remember playing cup ball?
Yeah.
We would go get a paper cup from the concession stand and play cup ball.
Oh.
And it's just that's the things that you don't normally see anymore.
We played cup ball right behind the Little League after our game was over.
Yes. So I would like to thank our title
Good move by number 9.
VFW Post 3522, Cheryl Yates of ERA Realty, HG's Barbecue, Soul Food Catering, Neil Powell at Down Home Insurance, Quintez McDonald Gibson at Integrity Home Mortgage, and our halftime show sponsor, L&L Handyman Services, our post-game show and player of the game, K-Show Law. So with 10 minutes left in the first half, the game is still 0-0. I am joined by my co-host, Brandon Hamilton, chopping it up like we would do it at a cookout, watching these amazing athletes compete at the high school level in EPAC soccer. And Brandon, like we were talking about the youth athlete and where the youth athlete is built. What are memories that you have as a youth athlete?
So the greatest memories that are still memories because as we age, our memory fades. But most of all of those guys that I learned from and that I was coached by are still my friends today. So you build relationships. But I learned discipline, accountability, and big leg.
Powerful.
Big leg.
That's a real big leg.
So, and it might not be a popular opinion, but I always played on pretty well-coached teams with good athletes. I learned how to win. And if you learn how to win and you don't lose very often, when you do lose, it feels really bad.
Yeah, it hurts.
So I think sometimes, and kids play and travel and stuff, and that is all great. But when you play so many games, Bobby Huggins actually said it, you play so many games, you lose enough to where it doesn't have that same sting. So if you go your whole life and maybe only lose 4 games in anything ever, you can be playing checkers now and you still want to flip the board over. So I think my coaches instilled a will to win, hard work, character, and they're still my friends today, still mentors of mine and people I call if I need anything in life.
She has speed. She's quickly coming in the game and change the game.
So they don't have to report their substitutions?
No.
Gotcha. It's kind of like hockey. They just swap in and out.
Yes. 8:42 left in the first half, 0-0. Nifty footwork by the Jefferson High School. The ball is kicked out of bounds.
I can't tell if it's a corner kick or it's a throw-in. Hedgesville starting to look a little worn out.
They are, and the speed and the pace of Jefferson High School may have worn them down. But we will see, because right now it has not gotten them a goal yet. Jefferson throws the ball in.
It's going to be any second.
And it seems like Lorelei is one split second away from busting this open.
Or even if the goalkeeper gets a hand on it and it blocked, they have so much congestion in front of that goal that any type of rebound, it just seems like every time Hedgesville gets on their side of the field, it's one or two people.
And that could be based off of what you stated earlier, the set that they're in.
Right.
You know, they could be in a set that is more predicated on keeping Jefferson off the scoreboard as opposed to them being the aggressive to score. If that ball got passed with Lorelei's speed.
Well, Coach Janey, if that is the game plan, I need you to immediately exit that game plan.
I would assume that if that is the game plan, it would only be the game plan for the first half.
We have got to rethink this, and go with the run and shoot.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, because we all know that if you're always taking the punches, it wears you down.
Yes. And eventually you got to score to win.
You do. And there's no ties. I mean, there's ties in high school soccer. There is no golden goal until the playoffs. Lorelei let us know that at the first broadcast with the Washington Patriots facing off against the George Washington Patriots of Charleston.
6 minutes till the half, and I would think if this score remains the same with 6 minutes going into the half, I would give the advantage to the Hedgesville Eagles.
Oh yeah, I mean that's just facts. To be able to weather this storm and it be 0-0 going into the half, you have to feel confident. I'll tell you, Bailey Markley for Hedgesville has come in quickly and inserted herself into the game with her speed. And the ball is kicked out of bounds.
Does it say what year she is?
Unfortunately, the roster does not.
Gotcha.
So the Jefferson defender speaks to the goalie. They're making a strategic move right now. Ball's kicked to the left sideline. Player trips, loses possession. Hedgesville will have retained possession right now. Ball stolen by the Jefferson defender. Man, I tell you, Hedgesville is definitely amped up their energy these last 5 minutes.
Got a foul on Hedgesville. Free kick for the Cougars. Really, though, I don't know if that was a bad foul, if I'm allowed to say that, because the numbers weren't good, and now they can regroup.
And they set their defense up to contain this Jefferson offense.
Cross.
And we've seen an adjustment where they've actually moved Miss Bangett into the middle of the field. She was originally on the left side of the field, and now she's more center right.
High bounce.
The touch by the Jefferson offensive player.
Crosses field. They got a chance here. Hedgesville's just sitting back, content to not give up a goal.
Right now, it's obvious that that's what their strategy is. That they just want to keep this game close, and they may have a play or a particular formation that they may have up their sleeve that they feel like Jefferson could be vulnerable to, that may be able to get them a goal and steal this game.
Do you think a tie is a win for them?
No. I've never believed that. Even myself as a person, I never wanted to end in the tie.
I haven't looked at the EPAC standings from last year or this year or whatnot, but I do know you get points, and I know this point system sometimes comes out to play kind of weird.
So maybe simply because this is an away game, Hedgesville could get more points?
So the way football works, and it's the only one that I understand, you get points for the team that you played. If you win, you get points. If you tie, you get half the points. Now, if you play a team out of state or out of conference, it doesn't matter. So for these teams, if it's the same sort of structure, they may get points for a tie but not a loss.
Yes.
And that would probably only come into consideration as Jefferson is at the top of the EPAC, and Hedgesville would maybe be a young team or a rising team. You know what I mean? To where a tie would be, for lack of better speaking, it would, so to say, if Hedgesville tied with Martinsburg in football. That's not a win, but that's a win.
Yeah. Your kids build that level of confidence.
You know you can play with them.
With the best. And the thing about this Hedgesville team, I've watched that Washington team play, and that Washington team is a really good team. And this Hedgesville team beat them 2-1 last night.
Well, fatigue legs could be coming into it too. I mean, if you just played last night and then you got another game tonight, back-to-back soccer games, they're probably running 3 or 4 miles out here at least. So.
They very well could be tired, but in speaking to that effect, the George Washington team played Washington on a Friday, and then they played Jefferson on a Saturday morning, and they beat them 3-1. So I definitely am not minimizing what was said, but what I feel like is when you do get to that elite level, you push through it.
Right.
And that's what I hope these Lady Eagles are doing, and I believe they are doing it, because the score is 0-0 right now versus a very talented team that they're pushing through. And to be honest with you, that's the big thing that we wanted to do with Home Team Sports TV, is to be able to put the exposure in every school and every athlete in every sport. So if these young ladies now know that their game is going to be broadcasted on YouTube live.
Hold on, they got a chance here. Onside, shot on goal.
And look, I said number 17, Miss Markley, has been a problem since she's got on the field. And speaks to what you said earlier. You put an athlete on the field with some speed, then all of a sudden now when you're just sitting back and taking the punches with Lorelei, now we have someone just like that.
Right.
That's putting that same pressure on you. So with 11 seconds left in the first half, it seems like we're going to end this half in a tie. I don't know if we're going to get any extra time, but it doesn't look like Hedgesville is in a rush to get that ball in. So we are waiting for the officials to blow the play dead.
That last play from Hedgesville, the only thing I would have liked to see her do different is shoot the ball when she had separation. Yes. I think she waited a little too long, got a little too close to goal.
Yes.
Things got congested. The closer to the goal you get, it's the same as a field goal. Your angle gets smaller. So when you're out there in the open, go ahead and take that shot.
Well, and it's something that's a transition from the youth league to when you get to higher levels. You're not supposed to dribble to the net. You get yourself to a point to where, like you said, you have that clear shot. Then at that point, you give that shot a chance. But we will take a commercial break. We are live from Jefferson High School, where the Cougars and the Eagles have battled in the first half to a 0-0 tie. Home Team Sports TV. We'll be back.
Meet Cheryl Yates at ERA Liberty Realty. With over 30 years of experience, Cheryl provides each of her clients with the best level of customer service, along with helping families with the next phase of their life. The buying and selling process comes natural to Cheryl, as her understanding of the housing market allows her the ability to answer any questions that may arise. With offices in both Jefferson and Berkeley counties, she works hard to ensure the outcome you deserve. Cheryl is the key to selling or buying your home.
Juwan is the ultimate hype guy. I love him. He's always positive. He's always pepping them up and firing them up.
Come on, Parker, work, Parker, work, Parker, work, 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 work.
We are back at Jefferson High School, where we have the Jefferson High School Lady Cougars 0 and the Hedgesville Eagles 0. I'm joined by my co-host, Brandon Hamilton. Brandon, obviously, we've done a lot of discussion about formations for both teams, strategy for both teams. Obviously, right now, you can see the Hedgesville coach talking to their players, employing their players of what they've seen on the sideline. What do you think needs to be done going forward to actually implement that on the field? Is it something as easy as changing formations, or do you feel like it's philosophical?
I mean, I think it would just depend on what's going on with the players. If they're tired, then they obviously don't have the choice to stretch the field out. But if they have a couple reserves they can throw in, they can start trying to take some chances and get some shots on goal. Right before the half, we saw probably the best opportunity of the night. So if I'm their coach right now, if I'm Hedgesville's coach, I'm letting them know that we're in a great spot.
Yeah.
This game is 0-0. We need one goal, and then we'll jump right back into that bunched up set we were in and ride this thing out. Now, if I'm Jefferson, keep controlling the ball, of course. But and I'm no soccer expert, but don't just control the ball. Control the ball and then take some chances in between.
Yeah. And that's what you spoke to earlier in the game, that if this game goes into half, and that was after like the first 5 or 6 minutes of the game. Obviously, we've seen 34 minutes since that point. But what you stated was, if Hedgesville can go into the half 0-0 with the way the game was being played, that is a win for them. Because as much as that pressure could tire out the legs of the Hedgesville team and defenders, it does the same thing for the Jefferson Cougar offensive players. On top of that, Brand, as we both know, and being athletes, mentally, it wears on you when you feel like the game should be something that it's not. You could dominate a game, and if the score like let's say football is only 3-0 or 10-0, you know that game can change quick. You can go get it. You can get the ball, go down and score, get a stop or get a turnover, and next thing you know you're up 14-10, and that team who's had momentum for 35 to 40 minutes of the game is now losing.
That also goes both ways. I'm not a betting man, but if I were, I would put my money on Jefferson to win by multiple goals. And what I mean by that is more than one. So sometimes you go in a game, I've been in those games, I've seen the games at 7-7, it's 7-10. You walk in the locker room and you say, what are we even doing right now? Now something good has to happen, meaning they score that first goal, and then all of a sudden it's contagious and another one follows and another one follows. And I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I do think that some of these opportunities they had in the first half are going to result on more shots on net, and more shots on net obviously means a higher percentage for a goal. So just from what I've saw, I think that Jefferson still has an advantage just because you can't take away the athleticism. And Hedgesville has great athletes as well. I think that Jefferson just has a couple more on the outside that are a bit more dangerous.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Jefferson, like I said, they haven't been able to put the ball in the net. But fortunately for the Lady Eagles as well, we have to give them credit that their defense has been, once they got into that penalty area, which I call that red zone in football, their defense has stepped up. And that's what I've loved to see is Hedgesville competes. And one thing that I can say is that the communities around us,
right?
Those kids are being raised to compete, and they're being raised to fight to the end. So that's why I love doing EPAC games, because you already know what's about to happen. You know it's going to be knockdown, drag out, smash mouth. You're going to fight. You're going to compete.
Yeah, well, the best teams come from the Eastern Panhandle anyway, hands down, across the board. Maybe not just in one sport, but we run football. Jefferson ran baseball. They run track. Year in and year out, you'll get a scraggler from South Charleston, Parkersburg. But that's only like 1 out of every 5 years. The rest of the years, if you look at the EPAC, we almost sweep every sport from the Eastern Panhandle. So there's a reason people don't like the Eastern Panhandle. It's because we beat them.
Well, and it's also the mentality. It's just different. But I'm grateful. I'm grateful to reside in the Eastern Panhandle. I'm grateful to be a fan of these teams. And guys, let's see some action. That's what I'm ready to see.
That's right. Jefferson's got the ball in possession to start the second half. See, I'd like to see a kickoff here, but I guess they just alternate. Like, get both of them up there like they do in lacrosse and just have them kind of rugby it out.
So I'd like to thank our sponsors. Our title game sponsor today is VFW Post 3522. Cheryl Yates of ERA Realty, Quintez McDonald Gibson at Integrity Home Mortgage, Neil Powell at Down Home Insurance, HG's Barbecue, Soul Food Catering, and Catro Law. And Brandon, getting back to what you were saying at kickoff.
Yeah, let them scrum it out a little bit.
So more like a rugby style.
Yeah, these girls are tough. I got a little girl. There ain't a whole lot of difference at this age between a girl and a boy.
But Carly is being raised a little bit different.
Man, these girls might have been raised the same way.
Yeah,
let them rugby it out.
Very possible. Now, Brandon, let me ask you a question. Has rugby ever been a sport that interested you?
No. Hold on here.
Lorelai.
She got to get it a little too long.
Control
and that's part of what I'm thinking, because you run into it with football. The timing's just off.
Yeah.
That pass is a little softer touch. She's there.
Exactly. And she's able to cross that to potentially, have someone with a shot on goal.
Yeah, so usually the rugby dudes, like in college, even ones that played college football, what they do is most schools have rugby clubs.
Yes.
Now, rugby is more, you have your faster guys, whatever, but rugby is more for the tight end, fullback type dude. And I'll be honest with you, I was halfway physical, but if I knew I wasn't going to get an extra yard, I'll tuck out of bounds. So rugby wasn't exactly my thing. Yeah. I wasn't.
Well, that's actually be smart. Well, why work harder when you can be smarter? You're gonna take those hits naturally throughout the game, regardless. Especially playing running back. There's no need to take unnecessary hits. I tell my son that all the time. If you can get out of bounds, obviously, if it's something where it's just one person, you can create yardage after that. Hey, by all means. But if it's something where it's 3 or 4 people and no shot that you're gonna be able to.
2 yards matters when you need a yard.
Yeah.
When you've already gained 20.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Get your butt down.
The penalty on Hedgesville stops the Jefferson High School attack.
So again, that's another rule I would change. If the play's in motion and there's a penalty on the other team, let it be a running play until the play is dead. Once it's dead, assess the penalty.
Yeah, because that totally stops the momentum.
It's like fouling somebody in the NBA. If you foul them in the front.
Yeah, it's like a fast break. If I got a fast break and someone just taps the back of my jersey, I don't want that. And the ball rolls out of bounds. It'll be Hedgesville's possession. But yeah, it's just. But that's why now, even in basketball, they've changed that rule to where if the person is in front of you, now that's a 2-shot free throws
And the ball. And the ball.
Yeah. So there's a huge penalty towards that. The score is still 0-0 with 36 minutes and 50 seconds left in the second half. You hear the fans imploring both teams, and this goes also it's crazy to sit right there and think about this right now, because I don't know if this would have happened in our generation, Brandon, but the fans for both teams are sitting on the same side.
Yeah, that's a little crazy.
Yeah, so the visitor side is totally empty, and all the fans are sitting on the same side. That's very unique.
I would not do that.
Yeah, I mean,
when I commentate, I love both teams. When I come as a fan, I hate one of you.
Yeah, I know. We all know. If everybody's seen me and Brandon's interaction on Facebook, you'll know which team that is. But the funny thing is, when we're all together, adults and as men, it's all love. So it doesn't go over into that personal boundary. It's friends. We have fun. We have pride in our high schools, but we just love. I think we just love talking a little bit, having a little bit of friendly banter.
Talking sports.
Yeah, and then at the end of the day, we all know in our community, if Brandon is in Jefferson County and a kid needed help, he's going to help them. And it's the same thing for all of us.
Yeah.
If you guys have anything.
I mean this from the sincerity of my heart. I'll help him do 2 things. For one, I'll help him in life and athletics. And for 2, I'll help him get into Bartonsburg. Hold on.
This is why we love this guy, man.
Oh,
she
still got possession.
She knocked her over, and the referee, and I love that. The referee allowed
Let him
a
play.
little bit of physicality right there. I like that. But getting back is we want to help the community. So if you have high school kids that need community service, please reach out to Home Team. We will help you learn how to do camera. We will help you learn how to be a spot, work the ATEM, be a producer, commentate, anything and everything.
Fast break for Jefferson.
Please reach out to us. This is not
Fast
just
break for
about
Jefferson.
Jefferson County. This is
Cross.
about the.
Oh,
that was a beautiful shot.
Nice cross by who is that?
But
Number
this
15.
is about us uplifting our community, and that is all communities from Martinsburg to Musselman to Hedgesville to Jefferson to Washington to Spring Mills. We want to uplift everybody, so please reach out. We are willing to help in multiple facets. But we just saw the
probably the best attempt all night.
Yeah, the best attempt all night, Randy.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit more to the left, and that was going to be a bullet into the top right corner.
Oh, she definitely would have scored if she'd hit the net. But I think the ball was being crossed a little hard. All she could do is get a foot on it.
Yeah, exactly. She didn't have enough time to get the touch first.
That's what I was just speaking about. Just opportunities, though. So you have to get a little lucky. You know what I mean? You can be good, but the
Oh, yeah,
ball's got to
beautiful
hit you in the
footwork.
right space.
Okay. Look at this. That's what I'm talking about. The skills. Like, she has skills. Miss Markley for Hedgesville has definitely been a game changer since she's been inserted into the game. But she loses possession. Jefferson quickly gets the ball back in, and they weren't even prepared. So that was a lack of communication right there, where the player taking the ball out was ready. And I don't know if the Jefferson player was a little bit fatigued from that her last offensive possession, or is just a lack of communication. But it resulted into Jefferson losing possession. So the score is 0-0 with 32 minutes and 30 seconds left in the second half. Jefferson throws the ball in. Possession lost. Now, Hedgesville needs to put some pressure on the Jefferson defense right now, but they quickly lost possession of the ball. And Brandon, it is starting to seem like, oh, look at the speed. Look at the speed. Oh, and a beautiful pass, and the ball was not controlled by the offensive player. Lorelei banged it, man. Just her speed. It's just like that in baseball, football. The pressure that a person with speed puts on a defense, like I said, when they're a wide receiver or a running back or a quarterback or get on the base paths in baseball, when you know that person is going to steal. But you just can't throw the ball hard enough and fast enough down to the second base to even get the person out. It makes the coaches, it puts so much anxiety and stress on a defense and on a coaching staff. And I think we heard a little bit of that last night when we heard from East Hardy when we had the chalk talk. Shout out Jawan Holmes for the chalk talk with the coaches of the games that we do. One of the things that East Hardy's coach said was we have to contain Wildwood's speed.
Right.
And contain that speed, what it did when you watch the game was Wildwood had the capability of scoring really fast. So even if there was a minute left, your team had to be on high alert because that 1 split second and Carl Yates is 75 yards down the field for a touchdown.
Right. And what that means usually is, so if you don't have speed to match up with speed, then you need an extra player. So now when you use an extra player, you take a player out of the box or you bring one into the box, and then it creates a numbers game. And that's all football is. I want 5 on 4 or I want 6 on 5, and I just want one extra. We got a little law in the action. We'll pick back up. I just wanted to give everybody an update. Shepherd College opened up. Hold on 1 second. Hedgesville's got the ball. It's been cleared.
That was a great attempt, but no one.
So Shepherd College opened up their season today in Connecticut. They won 48-7. Your Shepherd Rams won 48-7 in Connecticut. So those boys will have a nice trip home.
Yes, and obviously the amazing, the super talented Tyson Bajent starts off his senior year with a bang. And if you guys were able to come to the Home Team Sports and TV award show, Tyson's father, Travis, he stole the show. He was with the speech that, he said, I lied. But when he was saying that, he was pretty much also letting you know, but I believed in myself. I might have lied at that time, but I knew that I was going to make this happen. And then as things begin to happen, people start to believe in Travis and believe that he meant what he said. And now he has a strong following around this community because everybody knows, Travis might be a jokester, but if you know how he is with his family and his sons and his own work, Travis puts in the work and he puts his mouth, but he puts his actions right there with his mouth. and he backs it up. And that's what he meant by saying I lied. Not, hey, I'm out here trying to deceive people. It's that I'm speaking my wants into existence. And that was something powerful that Travis said. And you see it in his kids, where you see Brandon Tyson, maybe, I would say he's the best quarterback that has come through this area. In my lifetime.
Yeah, so that's not even a debate.
Yeah, in my lifetime. And then now he has a son that is at Martinsburg that's putting in great numbers, Ezra Bajent.
Yeah.
And last year he put up amazing numbers, and he was splitting time with another elite athlete in Murphy Clement. So that also goes to show that look at the character of Ezra. Hey, I'm one of the best.
You know what happens, I think, is a lot of times they see their dad as, whether it's arm wrestling, football, pool, they see their dad as a professional athlete. Mm-hmm. So they know that it's possible. It's not somebody saying you have a 1 in 3 shot at, no, I was a 17-time world champion.
Yeah.
So then Tyson gets to the point where he's, the best quarterback in Division II football, probably going to break every record.
Yeah.
He's going to get drafted. Mm-hmm. And now his little brother says, well, everybody told me it was far-fetched too, but my brother – went to Martinsburg, turned down a D1 offer, went to Shepherd, and he's still going to get drafted.
Yeah.
And whatever team picks him is going to love to have him because he's a great kid.
And he's going to work hard, and he's going to
100%. He's
going to improve your culture. And to be completely honest with you, something that I would love to see is it is something that I know some of the greater athletes like Naeem Kearney and some other athletes, Doran Smith, Jawan Green, they all came back and did a little camp. But I would just love to see more of that. And being able to go around and saying like, all right, coach, you like Tyson, hey, you bring me your quarterbacks. Naeem, you bring me your running backs. You guys bring me your wide receivers, and let's have an elite camp here. Let's have an elite camp. Let's have it broadcasted by Home Team Sports TV. It doesn't matter what field it's at.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what high school. If you're interested in a high school, please let us know. And let's have this elite camp where we can actually showcase these kids from 8th through 12th grade or even 7th through 12th grade and just let them know, not to fill your ego to think that, hey, I'm a superstar, but you may see that this is how hard I have to work to be able to get to what I want. Because I think that some people don't realize that at each level it gets harder and harder. But on top of it being harder on the field, it's the work outside of the field.
Well, and that's the advantages that certain schools have. And I'll just say certain schools because, say, for example, you bring a Tyson Bajent into Jefferson for a weekend. We'll say not even one day. Okay. He's going to get work in. He's going to teach kids a few things. When that same kid is not in season, when he's at another field every day, so when you welcome your players back, and they're always welcome, I think that helps a lot because you have a lot of talented guys to come back and help. We got actually Hedgesville on a little bit of attack here. We're rambling about football.
Hedgesville's been a lot more aggressive this second half.
Yeah, I called down to the coach and I told her what to do. Now we got a scrum in the middle. I don't know if that's called a scrum, but I like it.
And the game is getting a little bit more physical.
It's got to get more physical. They got 20 minutes to score a goal or we're all losers. Your whole life depends on this right now. You got to put the ball in the net.
We have 24 minutes and 18 seconds
24 minutes until your whole week should be terrible. Score a goal.
This is the Brandon Hamilton that
we've
grown up with.
Hold on. Left foot.
Left foot kick.
Oh, wide left.
Off to the left. And she gives credit to her teammate because she knows that even that shot attempt wasn't possible without her. And that's what I love to see in sports. Whereas, you realize
they high five every time. You ever watch volleyball? They get scored on. They all high five each other. These are girls. They like high fiving.
Let them have their moment, man.
They just happy girls.
She's a competitor, man.
Oh, I know.
One thing I've noticed about Lorelai is she is a competitor.
She run the 400. She got to be competitive.
Oh, she's a superstar.
Still.
Kneel and deal. possession stolen by Hedgesville Eagles. Now I want to see Hedgesville be aggressive.
Oh, they gotta be.
I want these last 20 minutes to be the greatest soccer footage that has ever happened. Like, I just want like full
Marvin
full
Hagler,
action.
Hearns.
Oh man, that was beautiful.
Yeah, or when De La Hoya beat Mayweather.
Stop that, man. You know that's false. 50-0, man. 50-0. Don't play with us.
Hold on. She lost the ball. Or she'd have had a.
Well, that's
Now
beautiful
she's
footwork.
doing.
But
Hold on, cross coming. Get there. Oh,
okay, that is excellent goalkeeping right there.
Was not scared. Threw her face out there.
And that was the shot right there where that could have been a game changer.
Yeah, now I understand why she's wearing that full suit, because she knows she's getting a situation like that.
I wonder if she has one of those football shirts with like rib protectors and small shoulders, like small little shoulder pads on it.
I don't know. I wouldn't think the arm motion. I don't know if it would go all the way up. Maybe though.
Yeah, I mean,
I wear a suit like that, I jump out of a plane. Because I know this girl's got shorts on, so I'm sure you can choose. But the way that she just slid, she might not want that AstroTurf.
well, yeah, that's one thing that it was funny. A request that I got from my son, knowing that they were gonna play again on the turf. He said, "Dad, could you buy me a long sleeve shirt or turf tape?"
Numbers.
Yeah, pass that. So you got to pass that earlier. I see a little too much over dribbling. Jefferson regains the possession, and the ball is out of bounds to Hedgesville. We got 21 minutes and 15 seconds left in the second half. The score is still 0-0. Jefferson with possession. So Brand, I've asked you this question, multiple times, and obviously, we haven't seen anyone, be able to get the ball into the net. If you're a coach, like, what are you gonna do now? Are you gonna change formation? Are you gonna substitute and get some fresh bodies in? Let's enter in the mind of Coach Brandon Hamilton at this time.
Right now, you would probably be able to hear me up here. Like I would be screaming. But again, I don't know the main objective for Hedgesville, or I think I do. So my assumption would be that Hedgesville wants to keep it as close as possible, as long as possible. Mm-hmm. If I'm Jefferson, we just have to get way more aggressive. Yeah. Whatever that means. And then, you're going to need a lucky bounce here or there. It's just when the lucky bounce happens on their side of the 50, it doesn't matter. You need the lucky bounce to happen down in front of your net. So I would send as many people towards goal if I can. Yeah. Especially with Jefferson's goalkeeper seems pretty solid. I think even if they got caught out of position, they still have a decent chance of not giving up a goal.
And, what you said earlier, it seems like that's how Hedgesville is playing it, whereas Jefferson is playing to win, and Hedgesville is playing just to keep Jefferson out of the net. So I would really love to see the Eagles kind of turn up, and they turned up a little bit in the second half. I'm not gonna act like I haven't seen a little bit of a change, but not enough.
So all these chances like this.
Oh!
See, and that's what I mean by being aggressive. Not necessarily making something pretty. Just put the ball in front of the net. If you're a rebounder in basketball, I just want you in front of the rim. Mm-hmm. Good things happen when you're in the right place.
Yeah, and that could have almost been a disaster for Jefferson High School, as the ball bobbled out of her hands. And if the ball would have dropped to the ground, that's anybody's. That's anybody's ball at that point.
Yeah, and I think while the goalie's still bobbling it, you're allowed to semi-make contact with her. She's got to have it in.
And I think that they have had substitute for Lorelei. I don't see her on the field at this time.
So I'm thinking at that point, I didn't see her get injured. There's 18 minutes left. If she's allowed to re-enter, I would assume that she's going to come out and get probably a 6 to 8 minute breather.
Yes.
And then come back in with about 10 to go. That would be my assumption.
And she's probably gonna turn up at that point.
I mean, that little break's got to help. But also the girl they brought in for has fresh legs right now,
yes,
so.
Exactly. She is entering the game right now. And that goes to show, Brandon, this is what we talked about earlier. These girls are in amazing shape. To be able to run around, and that's what they're doing. Typically running around for 80 minutes. Yeah, I mean, that's just, it's different. Oh,
here we go.
Pass. And see,
we got
make the pass
going
now.
Too late.
And see, it's too late. Oh, and I think that's what I'm trying to say with the viewers is you can't wait too late. If you've seen that pass by Bang It, she made the pass at the right time, and a couple of Jefferson's offensive possessions have been deflated simply because they're dribbling too much.
Right. So I don't know the term in soccer, but the term in football is don't throw it when he's open, throw him open.
Yes.
Meaning, if he's even, he's leaving. Mm-hmm. Put it out in front of him a little bit and hope he gets there.
Yeah. See right there, there was Jefferson defenders were watching instead of going there and potentially getting the rebound, and that cost them a chance right there because that ball right there actually did drop to the ground. And at that point, it's free game. Anybody could get to that. So for the ladies at home that are inspiring to be soccer players, please never quit on the play because you never know what's going to happen.
I'm still going Jefferson by multiple goals.
That was a beautiful pass right there, but just a little bit too much oomph on it.
16 minutes is a long time.
It is. 60 minutes is a long time. So this is Keem Holmes from Home Team Sports TV with my co-host Brandon Hamilton. I'm having an amazing time, speaking about this beautiful game of soccer that we are watching right now and the other amazing things that we have going on in the community. Score is still 0-0. Thank you to the community for allowing us into your living rooms.
Hold on.
For allowing us to broadcast the game. And physical play by number 19 for Hedgesville. Hey.
That's a questionable call there. So it would have been a corner kick if the Hedgesville girl had been the last to touch, but now we have a goal kick by Hedgesville because they said Lorelei touched it last. We might need to throw the red flag on that one.
Unfortunately, in the game of soccer, I don't think they have instant replay, and I know they don't have instant replay at the high school level. I thought it was crazy having instant replay in baseball, but it actually is it's actually become pretty handy in the game, especially with these umpires, i.e. Angel Hernandez.
Oh yes.
Oh man. Miss Markley with the ball for Hedgesville. She's waiting for her teammates.
So here's my theory. The longer you wait, the longer it gives the defenders to get down the field, right? So everything gets cluttered. If I'm the coach, I want to move early. Let's move early and everybody go towards the goal. Now, I'm not a soccer coach, and that's probably why, because that might not be the best strategy. Mm-hmm. But at this point, put the ball towards the net.
Okay. And see, and that's just the thing, is right now, I think Jefferson's getting a little bit tired mentally because you're seeing you're seeing them kind of like point at each other instead of them being the person that's actually going out and and doing the action. So right now I'm going to use a word that I love to use, and it's been very important in my life. Right now it's really going to be built on for your mental toughness. I know you're tired. I think the reserves that have played are the ones who are going to play. So now it's gonna be who wants this the most, What players want this the most, or what superstar on either side is going to make that play to put their team in that win column? Because, like you said, Brian, if you're Jefferson High School, you don't want a tie right now.
No, I wouldn't think that either team does, but let's look at the bright side. If the score wasn't 0-0 right now and it was, say, 3-0 either way, we'd be sitting here talking about, the blue pancakes I'm going to make in the morning. So at least we have a game to talk about and our advice, because this is definitely not a game you would leave early.
Oh, no, you cannot leave early. Honestly, I would like to see her attempt that from there.
Now she's going to cross.
Cross it.
Hedgesville has 5 players inside the penalty box anytime that happens. Side out Jefferson.
And Jefferson actually tried to keep that ball. They actually kept that ball in play. I don't know what was the reason, but they did. They kept the ball in play, and that's one thing I have liked about today's action. It's been pretty fluid. Not a lot of stoppages.
No.
And maybe that was why there really wasn't a lot of extra time added in the end of the first half.
Right. There's no injury time. There's no extra time, but I think maybe we should start seeing some penalties. They need to get aggressive. And I don't mean intentionally, but when you're playing hard, things happen.
And 11 minutes and 30 seconds left in the first half. We still have a 0-0.
Second half, this is going to be it.
Live from Cougars Stadium. And yes, and for the viewers who aren't the most adept in high school soccer, there is no golden goal. There is no extra time. The game will end in a tie at 0-0 if no one scores.
Whoever likes and subscribes to Home Team Sports TV on YouTube will get to pick the winner if this ends in a tie. We will let you vote on it.
No, those won't be official.
Nah, but it can be unofficially official.
Thanks to my son, Mayor Ahmed, for his beautiful camera work tonight. Tyler Lee down on the field, and to our producer extraordinaire.
Hold on now. Run it down.
Harry Brown. Harry, do you have a middle name? Harry P. Brown? Harry Lee Brown. Harry Lee Brown Jr. You know that name, Harry Brown. You just know that he just has a middle initial that this makes it pop a little bit. Harry Lee Brown. That's what we call him. We call him Uncle Harry, and you never know where Uncle Harry is going to pop up. One day we might be in Inwood. The next day we might be in Spring Mills.
Uncle Harry just pops up.
He just pops up. He just pops up, and we make it happen.
Hold on now. Well, at least that turned out of the field.
Yeah, it did. So I'd like to also go through some middle school scores. The middle schools in Jefferson County, we don't have freshman ball, but we all play middle school sports or coach it, or our parents are fans of middle school. We have your Wildwood Mustangs beating East Hardy 30-12. That game was on HTS TV live. Like and subscribe and go watch that game on YouTube. Today, your Harpers Ferry Tigers beat Capron Bridge 54-6. Harpers Ferry is showing the real deal. And the Charlestown Panthers Monday beat the Shepherdstown Cardinals 36-0. A great game by both teams. Amazing game by both players. And also want to shout out Liam Sager for having an amazing game and competing strong for the Shepherdstown Cardinals. Saturday, the Charlestown Panthers will play a private school, J.C. Williams, at Washington High School. So community, please get out and support the Charlestown Panthers middle school football team. And Harpers Ferry will travel to face Romney next week. And next Saturday, the Wildwood Mustangs will compete at Wildwood at 1 o'clock versus Greenbrier East.
Little run. She's got to cross, find some room.
Yeah, she does. And she's had some amazing work. I just wish that she had more people in there competing. This is a chance. If she can get the touch.
Put it back in front of the net. Nobody's closing.
No one's closing. Yeah, no one's. And that's why I said it might be time for Jefferson to do a little bit of substituting on the offensive side because we're not seeing that same level. I seen what her mentality was. She was trying. Like it. Yeah, she was trying to win this game right there.
I like it.
I do too. The fire that she showed, she got knocked down. She jumped up real fast without missing a beat, and she competed. That was beautiful right there.
Corner kick by Jefferson. Corner kicks are usually really good opportunities to score.
Ooh. Oh! Awesome by the Hedgesville defender.
We got another corner kick from the other side.
Wow, that was
and I believe she's right-footed, so this should help her because she can hook the ball in towards the goal a little bit more.
And this is where you want your biggest player to be able to use their body and their height to be able to get in a position for a hitter. With 6:49 left in the second half, Jefferson with a corner kick, their second straight corner kick, and the ball is knocked out by Hedgesville.
Another corner kick.
Another corner kick.
This is a good thing. The more opportunities that she can put that ball in front of the net, the higher the chances one of them is going to just dribble in.
Oh, the scramble! Oh, the ball's on top of the net!
Oh
my goodness, this is amazing!
What was I just talking about? Just stuff like it. The more times you put the ball in front of the net, good things are going to happen.
Yes, Brandon.
And she's got another corner kick.
The hitter. In the
goal! Cougars!
Hey, Brandon, what did you just say? Hey, can you breathe right now, Brandon?
Listen, I got so much wind. I'm trying to be humble up here. But on the next goal, you get the score. Yeah, and I might do that one in Espanol for you. But
HTS Sports TV, Telemundo.
Telemundo, pick us up. We ain't free.
Oh, no. And what could you expect from your goalkeeper? 3 straight kicks. You all right?
Yeah.
3 straight corner kicks. Eventually, something had to happen.
Well, and you know what else I would think? So your first corner kick, maybe like a free throw, right?
Yeah.
You're supposed to make both. But if you ever miss the first one, you usually make the second one because you know how short you were. So she kicks that first corner kick. Mm-hmm. Now she gets 3 or 4 of them. She's already dialed in exactly where she needs to put it.
That's like having a quarterback have 4 straight plays doing a go route.
Right. They're going to hit it eventually.
And what you're going to see now is something that I seen from Washington after George Washington scored that goal. We're going to see the best of Hedgesville Lady Cougars soccer right now because they're down 1-0. They have nothing to lose. They have nothing else to do except to have the urgency to try to get that goal back.
They got to score and score fast.
Yeah.
Or they're going to be playing Fortnite.
So with 5 minutes and 9 seconds left in the second half, the Jefferson Cougars with that late goal are up 1-0. And the crazy thing about it is this. It was so scrambled in there.
Oh, yeah. Who scored that goal?
I do not know the number of who scored that. So we will actually have to get
There were so many jerseys in there that I couldn't tell which foot, thigh, arm, head it came off of.
We don't know. So we will have to get that because obviously if this score ends 1-0.
But it's not. I already told you they're going to win by multiple goals, so they're going to at least score one more.
That player would be in the front runner for the Catro Law player of the game.
Catro, one of the best closing agents around.
Yes, that's actually who closed on me and my wife's house.
she bored some horses for me. She's a woman of many talents. Great people, great family.
All right, the ball is in the middle of the field. Jefferson has possession, and this is not what Hedgesville needs right now. Jefferson is
Crosses field.
Yeah, but Jefferson is very content with this maintaining possession.
It's not. Jefferson looks beat right now.
I mean,
For some reason, that one goal took the air out of their win, or maybe they didn't have it fully to begin with. But Hedgesville, I'm sorry. Yeah, Hedgesville just looks kind of deflated.
Well, and that could also play to what you said. You know, obviously, you know, not every team is the same, but that playing Washington yesterday, 'cause they were supposed to play Tuesday, but the game got postponed due to weather. So maybe having those back-to-back games is affecting them. Oh, Jefferson with the hitter off to the left. But maybe that fatigue is, you know, causing issues for this Hedgesville team. We don't know, but you know, obviously, like Brennan said, you know, this didn't seem like they had the juice to really, you know, compete at the highest level today. But I'd love to see this rematch.
Oh,
And this game's not over either.
No, not at all. It's just they have got to get the ball on their side of the field.
Yeah.
With 2.5 minutes left.
Oh, see if they cross it. Oh, that's a very physical play. I love that the
let it go.
referees are letting them play. And for real, this is what
Open
I like
field. Open
Man,
field.
I tell you what, this player is not playing.
A lot of people standing around. But I know they're supposed to stay in position. So it's an opportunity if she can run it down.
Running around for 80 minutes.
Don't.
Oh. That was dangerous right there. The goalkeeper is hurt.
That was a dangerous play, but I really don't see anything wrong with it because the ball was – they both had equal opportunity.
Yeah.
If the goalkeeper comes up more aggressively and dives on the ball and grabs it, then I see her case.
Yeah.
But if the ball's dribbling in front and it's not in your hands yet, I would think she's allowed to try to score and tie the game up.
Yeah. Well, number 10, Chloe DeMullen, man, you know, the energy that she has brought to the table in these last 13 minutes has really flashed for me. With 1 minute and 15 seconds left in the second half, Hedgesville is down right now 1-0. So we'll see what Hedgesville has going forward. They are sending all their defenders up. Oh. And right there you see the pressure that low high speed, you know, puts on to your defense. You know, your player was forced to kick the ball out of bounds to get the ball away from her.
100%. And that's why multiple sports are good for other sports, because I guarantee you she would still be fast, but if she didn't run track, then she wouldn't be as good at soccer. Now, there are probably things that she takes from soccer that she applies to track.
Yes.
So do not get caught in this mentality to where you have to play one sport year-round to be successful, because you can be successful. Every best athlete in the school that I ever went to played multiple sports.
Mm-hmm.
So believe what you want, but I'm going to tell you that playing multiple sports is a great thing for any child, high school, until you figure out exactly what you want to do.
Even socially.
Oh, 100%.
You're getting exposed to different types of people in multiple sports. And Hedgesville kicks the ball in with a corner kick. The ball is kicked out. And the game ends.
Ball game, folks.
The Jefferson Cougars are victorious 1-0 over the Hedgesville Eagles. We will go down, and we honestly will find out who scored that goal. We'll go to a quick commercial break from Home Team Sports TV.
Meet Cheryl Yates at ERA Liberty Realty. With over 30 years of experience, Cheryl provides each of her clients with the best level of customer service, along with helping families with the next phase of their life. The buying and selling process comes natural to Cheryl, as her understanding of the housing market allows her the ability to answer any questions that may arise. With offices in both Jefferson and Berkeley counties, she works hard to ensure the outcome you deserve. Cheryl is the key to selling or buying your home.
Juwan is the ultimate hype guy. I love him. He's always positive. He's always pepping them up and firing them up.
Come on, Parker, work, Parker, work, Parker, work, 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 work. All right, young lady, what is your name?
Chloe DeMolin.
Chloe DeMolin. I'll let you say it first because I don't want to butcher it. So we saw the first half was kind of slow. Do you know or have any insight? Was that strategically planned by Hedgesville to try to keep the game close as long as possible, or?
I would think so, because they had just played a tough game against Washington the night before.
Right.
And they were probably all worn out.
Right.
Because Washington is also a tough team to beat.
Okay. Now, what year are you? Junior, senior?
Yeah, I'm a junior.
Junior, so you got another year coming back.
Yeah.
Oh, nice, nice. Okay, so the corner kick. We're going to talk about the game-winning goal. You had 3 or 4 corner kicks in a row?
Yeah, probably about 4.
Right. So a bunch of opportunities down there. There was so much congestion that we couldn't actually see. Did you score off your knee, your foot?
I kind of scored it right off my shoulders.
Your shoulder.
Kind of neck.